Hi, my name is Josie Martinez, and today we're going to be reading The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. At the end of the town, where the grickle grass grows and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever, excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax, and why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of the town where the grickle grass grows. The old Onceler still lives here. Ask him, he knows. You won't see the Onceler. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his lickman on top of his store, where he makes his own clothes out of muff. And on special dank midnights in August, he peeks out of his shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in the snub and his secret hole in his glove. Then he grunts. I will call you by whisper-my-phone, for the secrets I tell you are ears alone. Slap! Down slaps the whisper-my-phone to your ear, and the old Onceler whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a snuggly hose, and he sounds as if he's had smallish bees up his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green and the pond was still wet and the clouds were so clean and the song of the psalm swans rang out in space. One morning I came to the glorious place and at first saw the trees, the truffle trees, the bright colored tufts of the truffle trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots frisking in their barbaloot suits as they played in the shade and the truffle fruits. From the rippus ponds came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those truffle trees. All my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I'd unload my cart. In no time I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffle tree with one chop, and with great skillful skill and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a bead. The instant I finished, I heard a gazump. I looked. I saw something pop out of a stump of the tree I chopped down. It was some sort of man. Describe him. That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mosey. That was sharpish, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpest and bossy. Mister, he said, with such a sneeze, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed. What's that thing you've made out of my truffle tuft? Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I've chopped just one tree, and I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is at the need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat, a feed. I'll find something that all people need. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers, for a bicycle seat, the Lorax said. Sir, you're crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who would buy that fool feed. But the very next moment I proved he was wrong, for just at that minute a chap came along and he thought that the feed I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy. I repeat, cried the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radiophone. I put in a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts and I said, listen here. Here's a wonderful chance for the Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road to the North Niche, turn left at the Weacon, sharp right at South Stitch. And in no time at all at the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting feeds, just as busy as beads, to the sound of the chopping of truffle trees. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow, so I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which hacked off 4 truffle trees at one smacker. We were making the needs 4 times as fast before, and that Lorax, he didn't shop anymore. But the next week, he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, I'm the Lorax, who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown bear baloots, who played in the shade in their bear balut suits and happily lived evening truffle fruits. Now, thanks to you hacking my trees to the ground, that's not enough truffle fruit to go around. And my poor baloots are getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys, he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Onceler, felt sad as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of the crummies and tummies, you know. I meant no harm. I mostly truly did not. But I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factories, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads of the needs I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on the biggering, selling more needs. And I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again, he came back. I was fixing some pipes when the old Knots Lorax came back with more gripes. I am the Lorax, he coughed and he whiffed, he sneezed and he snuffed, he snuggled, he sniffed. Onceler, he cried with a cuffled croak. Onceler, you're making such smognous smoke. My poor swans, why they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in his throat. And so, said the Lorax, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here. So I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you've smogged around here. What's more, snapped the Lorax. His dander was up. Let me say a few words about Gumpity Gump. Your machine chugs on the day and night without stop, making glumpily glump and sloppily slop. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old Onceler man. You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for all their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax, now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap, and say bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering. Turning more truffle trees into the needs with everyone needs. And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From the outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree, and then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffle tree of them all. No more trees, no more thieves. No more work to be done, so in no time my uncles and aunts and everyone all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smogged stars. Now all that was left beneath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad and backwards glance, as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants, and I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he insisted himself and took leave of the place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks, which the one word, unless, whatever that meant, I couldn't guess. That was long ago, but each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away through the years while my buildings have fallen apart. I've worried about it with all my heart. But now, says the Onceler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So, catch, calls the Onceler. He lets something fall. It's a truffle seed. It's the last one of them all. You're in charge of the last of the truffle seeds, and the truffle trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffle tree, a truffle. Treat it with care, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack, then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. The end.